it definitely always starts with basic work trust. Can I trust this person to do their job? Can I trust this person to do what I'm asking them to do?
There's a level of sincerity and trust that develops there when you can walk into a workplace and know they actually care about helping me thrive and flourish in my role.
I disagree with the way you go about everything in your role.
I inherently disagree with every part of you.
Yeah, that's the work nemesis.
You know, some of the most difficult relationships that we have in our life are actually, you know, an invitation to the greatest act of charity, mercy, and kindness.
So here's the deal. Work takes up a ton of time, 40, 45 hours a week, 35 hours a week. But the people that you work with can either make it better, quality time with great people, or they can make it harder, a real energy suck for that 40-hour work week. Some of those work friends become real friendships that last well beyond the job, but some relationships, they just get crazy complicated fast when competition, stress, burnout, a weird, awkward meeting turns up. Today, we're talking all about work friendships, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Make sure that this podcast is the good by liking, subscribing, and commenting and sharing with your least favorite work friend and your best favorite work friend. This is the All In Podcast.
Did you say we're talking about our ugly work friends? The good, the bad, and our ugly work friends.
Who's the ugliest work friend you've ever had?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm probably a 7.
I'm laughing at, I don't want to name anyone, but Clayton, you always talked about how you were on a similar bathroom schedule as one of the executives here.
Every day. Yeah.
Was that ever awkward?
It absolutely was. Yes. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, you get done using the restroom and then you go to wash your hands, and it's too short of a time to have a real conversation, but it's too long of a time to not say anything.
Sounds like you got a lot of fiber in last night.
It's always like a little wash your hands, and you look over, you give them a little head nod, and
I think the bathroom is by far the most awkward place of a workplace.
100%. The most awkward is when you're waiting for someone to finish using the bathroom. You know, and then
you're standing outside, and then it's like staff care in there.
And you just kind of, if you're that person too, you just kind of, you want to apologize to the person coming in after you.
Yeah.
You just walk out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But also, if you're the person after,
you
don't want to name it.
What do you say?
Like, you're just like, I get it.
Hey, hell of a job. 3 for 3.
Big fan of your work.
Oh man. Yeah, here at the office in Denver, what's funny is there's only two restrooms over in our main office building. So there's not a lot of choices. And we also wear these name tag badges to scan you into different rooms. So when you're doing your business, the name tag badge is typically on the ground. So you can see who's next to you.
Do you check? You look down? Do you like look over? You try to get a good look at the name badge?
Sometimes the noises, you're just like, who was that?
Who's battling?
I gotta know.
World War III. Oh, man. Nothing like some potty talk. Just never. It's never not funny. All right, let me hear. We were talking last night at dinner. One of the guys who was working on the podcast was telling a hilariously awkward story with a coworker.
Uh-huh.
Anything that comes to mind of just like, man, I total foot and mouth with someone in the office space that you never want to relive again?
Yeah. I don't know.
Many. Too many to think of.
None to think of. I'm just really smooth.
I never mess up.
I'm trying to think of an example of you, Joe Michael, because sometimes I think you say things, and
I do think at this table you probably have the biggest list.
You do, yeah,
like
for
when
sure.
I called our female single coworker a cutie.
You did say that.
It was an accident.
It just came out.
I did say very average looking.
Hey, cutie. This is what you said.
Very uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable. All right, moving on. So, it's interesting because in working for an organization that is highly relational and maybe values relationships more than a typical organization. We may be on one extreme of having friendships in the workplace. But Clayton, you're joining a new company, selling paint.
Salesman.
Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah.
Gonna be one of those guys
Sure,
dressed in all white.
Yep.
It's gonna be at Home Depot wearing the apron. Hey, sir, can I help you?
Hey, yeah. Let me.
Need a stir
what
stick?
color palette are you looking for?
Need a stir stick?
I think this would look great in your.
Tell our audience, you got a lot of people on the
Yeah.
edge of their seat. They've been just checking LinkedIn, refreshing every day, wondering when the decision is coming.
Yeah.
And we asked the Boys and Girls Club if they would be willing to sponsor the decision. They were unable.
They didn't reply.
So we are making the announcement live on the All In Podcast.
I will be taking my talents to the commercial paint industry.
He's being serious. By the way, this is real.
I will be working for an industrial supplier in Central Texas. And one of the main things that I will be doing is be responsible for selling a whole, product line of commercial industrial paint that can be applied to all sorts of necessary infrastructure, both commercial and water and oil and gas infrastructure within the Central Texas region. So,
Wow. And what's the company called?
SPC.
Service Paint Company.
Yes, San Antonio Painting Collective. No, it's Specialty Coating Products.
That's
Is the name of the company.
Rolls off. I'm ready to get a
so
PFG
working
that
with
on it.
some really great people.
Awesome.
Have you met all of your new coworkers?
I have. Yeah, I have.
So who we got?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty. It's
very obviously it's very different,
Right.
Because I'm coming from working with a bunch of
This.
fresh 22-year-olds and recording a podcast out here in Denver and working with some of my best friends, and transitioning to a completely different industry, obviously, and then going from working at a nonprofit with 1,000+ employees to a place with really right now at least only 8 to 10 full-time employees. So, and then on top of that, it's more of a blue collar industry. And so
what type of steel toe boots are you looking at?
I just found out I needed to go pick some up.
What type of companies are putting
my
them out?
Roger Federer On-Claws? I can't wear those to the job site apparently.
On doesn't have any steel toed products.
On does not have
Like, are we talking Justin, Luke Casey, Timberlands?
Timberlands. Show up
Red
at
Wings.
Timberlands.
No, I don't. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I got to go and buy myself a new pair.
How do you think friendships are going to change? Obviously, we have very, deep, authentic friendships with a lot of the folks that we've worked with at Focus. How do you see maybe some positives of the new job in terms of work relationships, and then maybe some negatives too?
I think it'll stretch me a little bit. Just working, I think with everybody. Don't get me wrong. Everybody I've met, I'm a huge fan of. But just everybody that I've worked with, during my time at Focus as a missionary and in regional leadership, and then on our development team, we're all cut from the same cloth in a lot of ways. I feel, we're obviously all great friends. So there's plenty of other people that I feel like I have a lot of similar experiences with, and we're the same age, and we've all worked on college campuses and et cetera. And that's just not necessarily going to be the case in the new role. And so I think that will stretch me. I think it's something that I'm excited for. And then I think also at the same time, I do know that, a couple people at the company are Catholic, and very faithful. And so I know that we'll have that in common, but obviously I'm going to a place where, the people that are on my team that I'm working with aren't they're not necessarily going to be Catholic. And then on top of that, the clients and customers that we're working with, at Focus, that would be, the campus ministries and chaplains and priests and, all within the Catholic ecosystem of the country. And obviously that's not going to be the case in the new role. And so I think there will be a lot of growing to do. I think that, I might be, it's just, I think it's going to be eye-opening,
Mhm.
very different. And I will definitely sincerely miss, the environment that I got to grow up in at Focus and alongside you guys.
Well, I mean, it's really cool because most of our listeners probably don't relate to our experience of working for a
Right.
Catholic organization.
Yep.
So, you're going to have an opportunity to maybe have an experience that is the same as, the vast majority of people, but probably the vast majority of our listeners. I'm wondering too, if I was thinking about your job in particular, one thing that maybe we've missed out on in our career so far is like cross-generational working relationships. So like most of the people that we work with are in their 20s and 30s. I don't know the cross section of our employee age demographic, but you got to imagine it's 85% under the age of 35.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We don't have a ton of experience.
Everyone we work with is within 8 years younger or older.
Older,
than
or
us.
yeah, plus or minus, right? You're going to be working with people 60s, 50s, 40s,
Right.
30s, 20s,
Mhm.
maybe early 70s. I don't know when these people retire, but that's a whole different ball game, and honestly, probably really interesting. You
For
get to
sure.
learn from people who just have 40 plus years of experience
Mhm.
that you just don't have.
Totally. Yeah, I think I bring down the average age of the company by about 20
Half.
years. Yeah.
You're the youngest guy.
Youngest?
Yeah, I'll be the youngest of the
Wow.
company. Yeah, the
crazy.
young gun. So
The baby.
So for people who don't work for, a faith-based organization, what do you think are some of those qualities that make work friendships last? Or qualities that make friendships outside of just work?
Well, I'll tell you what my experience has been just getting started at SCP is that every single person I can tell cares about my success.
Hmm.
And that's something that I think really attracted me initially to the company, is that every single person that I talked to was interested in seeing me find success and, verbalizing the fact that they wanted to do anything that they could to help me transition and be successful in the new role. And I think that, we obviously have a lot in common with all of our colleagues at Focus.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found, in this new role as I'm just getting started, is that, there's a certain level of trust that I've built with all these people, because I can tell that they're not just looking out for themselves.
Hmm.
They're looking out for me as well. And I think that, you would want that obviously in just a friendship that you'd have with one of the boys,
Yeah.
one of the fellas. And it looks a little bit different when it's entirely work-based, but there's a level of sincerity and trust that develops there when you can walk into a workplace and know, like, this person, this manager of mine or this colleague or peer of mine is not just here to, get theirs and, to find their own success. They actually care about helping me thrive and flourish in my role. And I can see that, that's going to take you a long way. If you're that person for someone else, that's going to take you a long way in your own career. And you're gonna make friends that way, wanting to bring people in and show them the ropes and teach them and help them find success.
Yeah.
I'm thinking too of, like, how do you know a friendship's going to last past work?
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely always starts with basic work trust. Can I trust this person to do their job? Can I trust this person to do what I'm asking them to do? Now, I don't know if it should be that way, but that's always my initial filter. And then from that, everything that comes with that, as we're doing something together, is, do we start connecting on things outside of work? But it always starts out with that baseline of, like, can I even trust this person to do what I'm asking them to, or vice versa?
Well, you don't want to be friends with somebody who's terrible at their job.
Yeah.
Or who doesn't care.
But I'm also like,
You know.
I'm sure we have friends outside of Focus that are probably not great at their jobs. We just happen to become friends with them before
Send this
this.
to someone
That's
who's
true.
not good at their job.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like within the workplace,
Yeah.
my first filter is that. Outside of the workplace, that's not a filter I have.
Do you mind like talking about your performance review with me? Like, what's that like at your company?
That's
Like,
actually like a really good point.
Yeah.
Like you could have a best friend and you have no idea how they operate in the workplace.
And you can guess.
You have like a guess based on, maybe their excellence
some friends
or
that are like-
drive or
You could be really good at that job, but you're also very messy and, like, not administratively minded. And, I'm like, I don't know if I think you're doing a great job, but you have the potential. but it doesn't stop the friendship.
It'd be funny.
Yeah.
How are you performing right now at work?
Hey, you want to come on this golf trip? Do you mind sending me how close to quota
Your
you did?
KPIs from the last quarter.
Have you hit quota yet? You can only come if you've hit quota.
I wonder too if, like, we were having dinner last night with a good friend of ours, who we all used to work with, and we all had the same position in the organization. And I've always felt like there's a shared bond between us three plus this other guy, because we all did the same job, and so we have the same shared experiences. And I love this. Like, every time we hang out with this guy, I enjoy all of our conversations. He was telling us some hilarious stories last night about his time as a regional director and all these things. And I think that's a key part too, is like, we think just because it's a work relationship that it's shallow, because you're not talking about like, oh, tell me about your marriage. But I mean, last night was so fun, just hearing great stories about like his experience in his career and a career that we've all shared. And so I think like that pressure, that situation, those circumstances that you share are like a natural bonding point for a friendship at work. You know, oh, we hit that deadline together, or we work together to hit that quota. Like, that's a pretty powerful
Shared
experience,
Yeah.
you know, to have with someone. Got that sale, you know, you went on that trip and hit that sale together. Like, that's a special thing. When does it go? So you have shared relationship at work, you're experiencing, you know, success together. Is there a moment where you're just like, all right, I think we just became real friends? What's the line?
It's funny. So with this person in particular, they used to be my manager, right? And we used to laugh because I knew that we became friends when our meetings stopped being all about work, and the first 15 minutes were about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Sports, movies, families. It was just like asking either life questions or just questions that were unrelated to work.
What got to that moment? Was it 6 months? Was it a year?
Yeah.
Was it in-person time together?
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm curious to see how this continues in my life, moving forward into a different career. I really like to know the people I'm working with. Now, I'm not saying I'm the only driver in these relationships by any means, but I really like to know who I'm working with. And so I'll always ask, like, if we spend time together working on something, I'll start asking questions like, oh, where are you from?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is your family still? And I'll start getting into it. And again, it just depends on how much they reciprocate that and how much I can trust them to do their job. But I think that's usually once they start asking back, that's when I know I've crossed the first line of friendship. It's like, oh, now you're asking about my family.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're asking about my life experiences.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first benchmark.
Yep.
The second benchmark is, I think, when you're texting each other about non-work things.
Yeah.
You know, hey, did you catch that game?
Yep.
Like, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Or, hey, did you see this? You know, I think that's the second. And the third benchmark would be, I think, when you do something not work related, like in person with each other.
That'd be great. Like, I'm just imagining you inviting, you know, your 60-year-old sales coworker. Hey, you go grab a beer
Let's go
after
get a
work.
beer, buddy.
That'd be awesome.
Hit
That'd
him
be
with a
so
buddy.
fun.
Hit him
Call
with-
him buddy.
Hit him with a bud.
30 years his junior.
Hey, bud.
Hey, bud.
So yeah, with this manager in particular, I don't know what got us there. I guess shared experiences that, you know, we were working on a difficult situation at this particular campus, and I think that kind of allowed us to maybe
See,
let
I
off
think
some
there's
steam.
a point there though. Like, I use the word trauma bonding in a very loose term, but
Yeah.
like when you go through something hard with a coworker,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a accelerant to real friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Anything from you on that? Crossing the boundary into real life?
I think, you know, what you had said originally, John Michael, is just having shared experiences with people is the way that you form, especially as a man, you know, that's the way you form friendships with anybody. And so, you know, whether it's something positive or something negative, something that you're bonding over and can, you know, relate to with one another is obviously the open door into the friendship. I'm thinking though, like something just kind of simple, like being able to really laugh with somebody. It doesn't necessarily have to be super, deep or meaningful to actually like have a legitimate friendship with somebody at work, but somebody that, you can laugh about things with on a regular basis. I feel like that's just like an emotional connecting point. So
I would love to call Clayton in 6 months and see, like, have you invited these people to your son's birthday party? Like, did you invite them to, Joseph's first communion?
Yeah.
Like, that would be, I think that'd be
awesome.
crazy. That'd be like,
Yeah.
that's the fourth level.
Yeah.
To your points. It'd be wild.
To my levels.
Who would you invite of your new, would you invite the guy that hired you?
yes,
CEO?
yeah,
CEO,
Frank.
Frank.
Yeah,
Do you think
yeah.
he'd come?
Really great man, really wonderful family.
I bet he would.
Yeah.
You invite him to Joseph's birthday party?
I
Pull out your phone.
Yeah, right.
We're
Just to-
calling him right now.
Right, get him
right
live.
now. Yeah.
Actually, he's hiking the Appalachian Trail right now with his son. So he's
Oh, that's cool.
That's a guy I want to
able.
work for right there.
yeah.
Are,
pretty
are his
cool.
kids our age?
He's a son who's I think 2 years younger than us.
Yeah.
and
Wow.
then a son in college right now.
So you could be like a son to him. He could adopt you.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, what about those are the good ones.
Mhm.
What about the? I at the
don't
beginning you
wanna
said the
see you.
good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't. What differentiates the bad from the ugly in the first place?
Frankly, there's just some people that you don't like working with.
Yeah.
You're in a meeting with them, and just the way they speak makes you want to bang your head through your laptop.
Is that the bad or the ugly?
We didn't talk about their looks. We're
Because
on
the ugly, I'm thinking the ugly. I think we all have work nemesis. Like I have a nemesis at work. I have a couple.
You'll know
per
my
department.
Work. You'll know mine work nemesis.
And so in my head, that's the ugly. The bad is just the people that I get annoyed with, but they're not like
That's a good point.
you know.
Describe a work nemesis, because we all know what that means.
I think like
Describe your work nemesis.
should I say all their names on the list of all? Because I think
Green quarter zip.
the bad is just like, oh, man, this person just gets under my skin, but they're doing fine.
Would you say annoying or
Yeah, they might even annoy me.
bad at their job?
One of the two.
Because sometimes
think
it goes together.
One of the two. I think when it goes together, that's when it's a nemesis.
That's ugly.
That's
Your
the
arch
nemesis.
nemesis.
Yeah, that's like I disagree with the way you go about everything in your role.
I inherently disagree with every part of you.
Yeah, that's the work nemesis.
Hmm.
Versus just like the bad. They're either bad at their job, and they're really cool and fun, or they're really annoying but they're good at their job.
Yeah, it's so interesting because outside of work, you could choose not to deal with those people in your everyday
Exactly.
life, unless
I
they're like
don't.
your neighbor or something, and you have to, like my neighbor growing up, really he would blast "Who Let the Dogs Out" on a speaker, like massive speaker.
When he let his dogs out, or just
whenever
in general?
whenever I was playing in the backyard with my dog Scout, when I was like 6. And he would blast "Who Let
How
the
old
Dogs
is
Out."
this guy?
He's middle aged.
What a weirdo.
It was very strange. So obviously, you can't get out of a situation like that. But for the most part, you can avoid people that you might consider your arch nemesis in your everyday life. But at work, you can't run away from
Sit right
them.
next
You
to him.
have to work with them.
Yeah.
There's no choice.
On a team with him. See, I think I would describe my arch nemesis at work in a different light, because you were describing them as annoying and bad at their job.
More just like I disagree with the way they go about their work.
Okay. See, I'm getting closer to that, but the way I would describe my arch nemesis is almost like the person that you're competing against.
Yeah, I think we have
Interesting.
one.
You could be annoyed by them,
I think we have a mutual nemesis.
but it's like Kobe Jordan. Those they're arch nemesis because they're competing against each other for the great. That's what I think of arch nemesis.
Across time.
Interesting.
Across time and space.
Yeah. I think we share a common nemesis at work.
Nemesi.
Nemesi.
Nemesiah.
Nemesi. Our Nemesiah And I think some people think they're good at their job.
True.
I think they're actually bad at their job.
Interesting. Is that based on?
And I think they've hoodwinked.
Yeah, they kind of pulled the wool over everybody else's eye.
Yeah. Now, am I right? Probably not. Right, but it feels a fun narrative. Add some drama to the workday. It makes it a little more engaging.
That's fascinating. Yeah, because the arch nemesis could actually they may not know that you think they're your arch nemesis.
Other than this mutual one, I don't think any of my other nemesis know that they're my nemesis.
That's a good point.
And I'd like to keep it that way.
How many nemesi do you have?
Of people that annoy me and I think I disagree with the way they go about their job, I can think of 4 off the top of my head.
And are they with us here in this room?
What do you do when that happens? When there's just someone at work that you just cannot, either they're your nemesis or you just think they're bad at their job. How do you handle them? Because there's our listeners are thinking of 3 people right now at their job that they just can't stand. And they need some help on how to help make them less annoying. Did you just Teams message them and just say, I just want to call it out. You're my arch nemesis.
I can't stand you.
Yeah.
You are the Paul to my Peter.
Were they nemesis?
Try that at SPC. see what they say.
The Peter to my John.
See, I don't know if I have much room to speak into this because I don't know if I do it well. Something
you did do it well,
that I try to remind myself of is they're a good person.
Mm-hmm.
They're a good person. And I always try to start with trust. I just have a way shorter, not fuse as in I'll get angry and blow up at them, but trust fuse of if we're working on something together and you do something that I might disagree with, or maybe you're not responding or whatever it is, I'll give you a long leash in my head of oh, he's probably just busy. I think with someone I don't like, it's a much shorter fuse.
Yep.
And the second that they I'm not saying this is good, but that's kind of what I fall into. The second
did
that
they lose your trust through something that they did?
Yeah.
Because I think that's a harder.
Yeah, I don't just
that's a harder one to fill the
okay,
gap.
Let me pick this person.
Yeah, you had a negative experience where
Yeah.
you leaned on them for something.
and they didn't come through.
They didn't come through.
What do y'all think?
Well, I'm thinking of the story of Saint Therese and how she writes about one particular sister in the convent that she's with that she does not like, that she has a particularly hard time with, but that sister thought they were best friends.
Yeah.
She thought that Therese loved her
Yeah.
so much.
That would be what I aspired to.
Well, that's I think that's what I mean is that it's some of the most difficult relationships that we have in our life are actually an invitation to the greatest act of charity, mercy, and kindness. It becomes more meritorious for us to offer kindness, compassion, charity, generosity towards people that we have the most difficult time with in our lives. And frankly, like we were talking about earlier, those work relationships can actually become some of the greatest paths to our own sanctity, because there are other areas of our life where we don't have to deal with those people. We can choose not to. But at work we do. So
was that the same story? Was she the one that Therese went and took care of when she was dying on her deathbed? Or was that the sister that was there was one sister who thought she was Therese's best friend, and then there's one sister who was very negative towards Therese.
Yeah.
And would make, basically would say that she was faking it. You're not as holy as you actually are.
Mm.
And that when that sister was dying, the story says that Therese was the one who stayed up with her all night, even though this woman had treated Therese horribly in the convent for years and years. To this point, Saint Jose Maria talks about the mark of a holy man is the lack of preferential treatment. So his point being of if someone watches you in a room and you're walking in, you're at a party or an event or a company happy hour, and they can tell through how you're interacting that you really like that person and
you really dislike that
don't
person?
really like them, then he would say that's a sign of vice in a man, because you're showing preferential treatment to others and not treating everyone with the same level of charity. So it's a good pulse check for us of, all right, when I walk into like a company lunch and I only sit next to the same 5 people, like I'm never going to build friendships with the bad and the ugly if I'm only hanging out with the 4 or 5 people that I really enjoy working with. And it's just it's a rubric for us to look at of if am I showing this preferential treatment to these people and therefore not showing the same level to the others.
And hand up, I'm really bad at that.
Hand up.
Like, hey,
Hands up.
that's me.
Yeah. It's hard.
It's so hard.
Because you're exhausted. Like, you're at work and you're tired, and the last thing you want to do is go start a conversation that you have no idea where it's going to go. And
I think the other piece that this isn't right, but what I feel and what I'm sure a lot of people feel is like, what's the point in trying when I'm not going to see them outside of work? When they leave or I leave, I'm not going to see them.
That's a great point.
Now, I'm not saying that that's something good, but that's the thought that comes in. It's like, well, so how do we combat that too? Right.
Do you think you need a friendship with a coworker to have a good working relationship? Like, is that a necessary prerequisite to work well together?
I don't think so.
Explain. You're on the stand.
There are plenty of people I can think of that I don't really have much of a friendship with, just because we don't have like many experiences together, but we have a work relationship.
And you trust their work?
Yeah, I trust their work. I think they trust mine. You know, it's friendly, but we have zero shared experience. Like, I don't know anything about their life. They know nothing about my life. But when we have to work together, it's like, great. It's friendly. It's professional. You know, it's timely.
It's a different type of friendship.
Yeah.
It's a friendship of utility.
Please.
As Aristotle would talk about. The types of
Not
friendships. Do you agape me, Jose?
Do you filiate me?
Yeah, it's a friendship of utility in the sense that there's some utilitarian, purpose for your friendship with one another. So, anyways, I think your question, John Michael, was: do you need to have a friendship with somebody in order to have a good working relationship with them? But I think there's there is a working friendship that you have where your friendship isn't about your shared interests or your shared hobbies or your shared passion for Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs,
which is a great foundation.
It's a great foundation to have
with someone.
I mean, the big fundamental,
a firm foundation.
And then friendships of virtue. It doesn't have to be a friendship of pleasure or virtue in order to be a legitimate friendship. So
I think it's a phenomenal point, and I think it nails home maybe our main takeaway from today, which is that with work relationships, whether they're good, they're bad, or they're just downright ugly, we just want to appreciate them for what they are, what they bring to the table. Not every work friend needs to be a lifelong friend. Some people are just meant to help you get your job done, and that's totally okay if they're not part of your long-term circle. But at the same time, you got to invest a little bit where there's mutual effort to lead to relationships that some could turn into lifelong, authentic friendships.
Yeah, just because they're not going to be there forever doesn't mean you should put effort.
That's right.
It. Yep.
We're blessed here on the All In podcast with deep, authentic friendships with each other, and it's just a joy. And so if you want to continue to be a part of this friendship, we ask if you would please subscribe. If you would just hit that little bell, ring that bell, so that you're getting all the All In episodes straight to you. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcast. We are all there. This is the All In podcast. We'll see you next week.